Hi again, everyone. I'm Arthur E. Benjamin, and this is For the Love of Dogs, and my co-host, Vera White.
Our show is here to recognize the great efforts of the Dallas-Fort Worth community and what great lengths they go to help a dog in need.
Today we have two of our favorite animal rescue welfare advocates in North Texas. Then we'll hear another great animal rescue story that changed a family here in Dallas-Fort Worth.
But first, an organization that prides itself in rescue mystery.
Mystery. We actually like to believe that Duck Team 6 is a highly classified mission to save homeless dogs in North Texas, but it's actually a well-run organization that's willing to save dogs no matter what.
J.P. Bonnelly with the Republic of Dog is actually the leader of this covert operation known as Duck Team 6. He's here with us to tell us more about it. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad
Thanks for having
you're
us.
here.
And Bandit, our co-host, is keeping you company today.
Yes, he is, making sure I stay in line.
Well, he wants to know if Duck Team 6 is as glamorous as it sounds.
Well, I don't know if glamour is the right word. You get dirty, but I guess the glamour is the after we capture them. That's where the glamour comes in, when we see the dogs flourish in families and get to spend happy lives.
Well, tell us the story behind it. Tell us how the name came about.
Well, we kind of banded together, just a group of friends who had, the same common goal of saving these dogs that are seen on the streets. And a couple years ago, we were trying to catch a pretty elusive dog, which is our specialty, named Boots. And we were all sitting in the car about midnight. We'd set a trap, and this is back when SEAL Team 6 was big in the news after getting Osama. And we were just sitting there chatting, and I said, "Wow, I feel like we're SEAL Team 6 of the dog world." And one of our friends that was in the car with us, one of our co-founders, Pat, said, "I don't know about seals, ducks maybe." And so we just kind of started playing off the name, and we tried to come up with an acronym, what could ducks stand for? Dogs, under, we couldn't figure anything out. So it just kind of stuck.
So do you actually do covert operations?
I think you can call them covert operations. We make sure, some dogs need help, and sometimes they don't come out till the middle of the night. But we want to make sure we work with our community, so it doesn't have to be so covert. And if there are some times where dogs, need extra care, or they're on private property and need to be accessed, we work with, local Dallas Animal Services. We team up with them so they can gain access to a property, and we can go in and save them.
But you actually go to some portions of Dallas that maybe a lot of people wouldn't feel comfortable going to.
Yeah, and they're the parts where people say it's pretty sketchy. But we've been going down there for quite some time, and you would be amazed at the support that the folks in that area are willing to provide for us, and the help they give us. So it's heartwarming to see that those folks, they care about what's going on in their community, about the dogs. That's the majority. With the majority comes a minority that don't want to have anything to deal with anybody, and we leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Give us an example of one of the ways that you may have captured one of these dogs.
I guess lately the trend has been having to crawl under stuff, under houses, under trailers. One set of puppies, they barricaded themselves under a barn, a shed, and it took us about 5 or 6 hours to dig them out with the permission of the property owner. Another one that we went through was they were living under a trailer house. And the mama was an easy catch, beautiful shepherd, and she had her puppies under this trailer. So it crawled in, and I think she had 9. And initially we saw 7, and I thought it would be a real easy thing to do. Caught the 7, then heard another one. And so basically I had to scour the entire underneath of this trailer to make sure we got everybody. So eventually pulled out 9. And some you have to go through the bushes. Uta's puppies, she moved them, and she's very good at hiding their puppies. Another dog we're trying to catch.
Yeah, tell us some more about Uta.
Uta is a dog that's in West Dallas. She's been there for a while. He's hot there. Since we've known about her, we believe she's had 4 litters, which we estimate at 35 puppies from one dog. Her last litter that we got, she had 10. This is a street dog that had 10 viable living puppies that have survived. And they're all adorable. And we teamed up with some other rescues that took 2 of them, Take Me Home Pet Rescue and East Lake Pet Orphanage. They kind of split them up between the 2. So they're up for adoption. And we're trying to come up with some MacGyver type engineering to be able to catch her. She's very elusive, smarter than I am, and it's just hard to get her in. She won't go into traps, she won't go into a building. So we've come up with some pretty neat stuff to see if we can catch her next week.
Who do you think is feeding her?
There's a gentleman that lives in a building there who's kind of befriended her, and he also looks after another stray dog. She's just been spayed, and we took her back since he was looking after her, and we hope to do the same thing with Uta. She's pretty feral, but she likes him and comes around, and the goal is to eventually have her come in and be inside with the other dog lady.
Well, you're called Duck Team 6 for a reason. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your team?
Our team, well, I guess we're not a substitute for animal services. We're not the folks you call when, hey, I'm driving to work, I see a dog walking down the street. We're more of, I've been trying to catch this dog for 6 months. Nobody can catch him. You know, we've tried everything. We just can't get him. So we are able to dedicate our resources specifically to that one dog. And we can try multiple things. We can try doing the crate. You know, the easiest one is walking up to the dog, see if you put a leash on it. That only works part of the time. Traps. We have pens that we use where we'll feed them for about a week with the door open. And then eventually they get comfortable. They walk in, we close the door, bam-o, we've got them. And sometimes it's just going out there daily and creating opportunities that might lead you to catch the dog, whether it's with a leash or a net or something like that. So that's kind of where we come into play.
And the other members?
We have other members. We have what we call a street team, and those are the folks that go out and, you know, if we do find a dog that needs a place, they'll feed them, make sure they're safe until we're able to find a foster or a home or rescue that can take them in. We have a fantastic outreach team that has been growing so fast, and we're able to help so many other dogs. We deliver over 2,000 pounds of dog food to Soupmobile and the Dallas International Street Church. We also do vaccination days, free vaccinations for folks in the communities. We have an amazing, we call them duck dog walkers. If for some reason we have to have a dog in a kennel, they'll go out, walk them every day, socialize them, take care of them, make sure they're, you know, having fun, staying cool. And then, you know, behind the scenes, you know, our other officers, Rekha and Yvonne, they're just machines. I don't know how they keep up with all the emails and requests and things like that, but they do an amazing job when it comes to that. We have a new amazing adoption coordinator, Melissa, who is nonstop and amazingly organized.
And what do you have coming up this March?
In March of 2014, it's kind of top secret for now.
Oh, wow.
But through one of our volunteers, Nancy, we have enlisted the support of Massey Cadillac.
Oh, wow.
And they have been very supportive of us over the last few months. And talking with their GM, Thomas Bias, we've come up with an idea that's going to come up in March. And
so it's a surprise.
It's a surprise.
To be revealed
so
later.
coming soon.
Nice.
So as time gets closer, we'll start releasing more information. But it's basically, it's going to be Canines and Cadillacs. It's going to be the name of it.
Cool. Well, to learn more about Duck Team 6 by visiting their website, duckteam6.org. JP and team are also on Facebook. Just type in Duck Team 6.
Still to come today, animal welfare advocate Skip Trimble, one of our great friends, updates us on what the Texas legislature is doing for the dogs in Texas. plus our animal rescue story of a week. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Every year, families in North Texas unknowingly spend hundreds of thousands of dollars in support of neglect, abuse, and disease. When you buy a puppy from a parking lot or flea market, you could be supporting the cruelty of puppy mills that profit from dogs bred in abusive conditions. Help us stop the cycle. To learn how, go to spca.org/no-puppy-mills and take the puppy pledge.
My name is Teresa. This is Scooter.
My name is Amber. This is Duke.
I'm Dr. Dixon, and this is Annie.
I'm Emily. This is Jackson.
I'm Kelsey, and this is Skittles.
My name is Miko. This is Chloe.
My name is Ty. This is Callie.
My name is Tamar. This is Simon.
My name is Renee. This is Snowball.
My name is Dr. Miller. This is Fletcher.
My name is Eric. This is Sport.
My name is Stacy, and this is Britches.
And I'm a pet lover first.
And I am a pet lover first.
Live with a human for a while and you get to know a few things. Like, I know she's actually not a morning person. I know she does strange tricks for no treats. I know that water makes her howl like crazy. I even know how the floor stays so clean. She's quick. But the one thing I will never for the life of me know is how she gets so tiny and inside that box. Natalie, how do you get so tiny?
Welcome back. Laws that protect the rights of dogs and other animals would not be possible without the tireless efforts of people like Skip Trimble.
Skip is one of Texas's leading animal welfare advocates. He's here today to talk about some laws that have passed in legislature this year. Welcome, Skip.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back.
Thanks so much for coming back.
Before we get into the laws that were passed recently, Skip, can we talk about the process in the legislature and how it all works so that people get a feeling for that?
Right. Well, in Texas, there's 31 senators and 150 state representatives. So you have the same two houses that you have in Congress. And the way that a bill gets passed is you need to select a legislator, preferably one in each of the two houses, to sponsor your bill. They introduce the bill, and then the bill is assigned to a committee in which they have a public hearing, and people can talk for or against the bill, and then the committee determines whether or not the bill is worth sending to the floor to have it voted upon. And in order to do that in the House, it has to go through another committee called the Calendars Committee. And the Calendars Committee, there's so many bills down there, they will only allow so many of them to be voted on during the session. So you have to, in the House, you have to get through two committees, and in the Senate, you have to only get through one committee, but only so many bills are allowed then by the Lieutenant Governor who runs the Senate. So like last session, first I might tell you that Texas only meets every other year. So there's a lot goes on in the odd years when the legislature is in session.
Why is that?
They had this year. You know, to tell you the truth, I don't know. I think they just felt like that they could handle it every other year rather than meet constantly. A lot of jokes go by that we're better off the less they meet, so a lot of people like that. But that's just the way it is. In the odd years, they start in the second week of January, and it goes 140 days, which makes it end right at the end of May or the 1st of June. This last session, there was about 7,000, a little over 7,000 bills introduced, and a little about 1,200 passed. So you can see that there's a huge volume, and many of them don't make it. So that's what you're kind of up against, no matter what kind of bill you introduce or whether you're for it or against it.
So are you currently planning for this next legislative session?
Yeah, actually, we're kind of breathing from the past one right now, taking a deep breath. But we usually start in probably October, November of trying to determine what our legislative agenda will be for yet the following year, which would be 2015 is our next session. And the way we go about it is we ask people who have realized that there's a problem that affects an animal adversely that they would like to see solved with legislation. We get a lot of feedback from animal control. We get feedback from the Texas Municipal League. We get feedback from shelters, animal shelters, and rescue groups, all sorts of people. Fortunately, we have a lot of people in Texas that love animals, so we get reports on things we need to try to improve their life.
The last two legislative sessions were sort of monumental. They passed two really extensive laws. Can you tell us a little bit about the Texas Puppy Mill Law?
Right. That was passed in 2011. And before then, there was no regulation whatever over puppy mills. There's no way to make sure that they're treating the animals in those puppy mills right. So we got that bill passed, and basically it requires anybody that has 11 or more breeding females and sells to the public, they have to be registered with a Texas agency called the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation. That department regulates all sorts of things, electricians, manicurists, et cetera, et cetera. So they're now being regulated, the puppy mills are being regulated by them. After the session, the agency that is in charge of regulating them can pass regulations and standards for animal care and how to keep them and how to cage them and so forth like that. So that happened after the session. So between then and this last session, we've been working on rules and regulations and finally got those finalized in, I believe it was September, October of last year is when we finally got all the regulations done. And we felt very successful. We were a little bit disappointed in the regulations on the size, the cage sizing for animals in these facilities. What they do is it's a formula, and the formula is you take the length of the dog from the tip of the nose to the base of the tail. It doesn't include the length of the tail, just the base of the tail, and then you add 6 inches to that. So from where his tail starts to his nose end, he's got 6 inches that way, and it's a square, the same thing. So we wanted it to be twice that big. And when I was making my presentation to the rulemaking authority, I came up with a little demonstration that I thought was very, very telling, but they went on and ignored it anyway and passed the smaller cage size. But to give you an idea, this white spot here, I'm going to assume that this is a dog that's from the tip of its nose to the base of the tail is 24 inches.
Just about the size of Bandit.
So here we go, you're right. So here's where Bandit would live his entire life if he were in a puppy mill. He would be right there, or he could turn this way, but that would be it. That would be all he had. So we wanted it to be bigger so that he would have a little room to move around in and at least put his bowl over here where he could eat, or if he had to go to the bathroom, maybe here. But they said no to that.
So they can never even lay completely straight with their spines straight.
Right. No, there it is.
They have to be completely curved.
What you're seeing in the light blue-green and the white, that would be a dog. That's the minimum. I mean, that's the size that they have to do. So we've got work to do there. We're going to we're going to keep after the rule makers to make them understand that this is just totally inadequate for what we're trying to do. And keep in mind, this is 24/7. For some of these breeding dogs, they keep them 4 or 5 years, and then usually they have passed their prime, and no telling what happens to them. But so that's our challenge. This last session, we were successful in passing a law that requires all animal shelters in Texas to, if they have to euthanize a dog or a cat, they have to do it by lethal injection.
Yeah.
That's the way that your veterinarian and my veterinarian would put your dog to sleep if you took him or her there after their lifespan had come. Before then, they were using all sorts of things. They could club them, they could drown them, they could just anything, and we finally got that stopped about 5 years ago. In this last session, the last means of what we refer to as inhumane euthanasia was the gas chamber. They put them in there, there's bunches of them in there, they have to stay there for 30 minutes. It's not an easy and not a graceful death.
No,
so,
some of them live, some of them don't.
Yeah, sometimes they don't know whether they're fully dead or not. They bury them alive. There's just a lot of horror stories there.
There's some bad ones. I got to tell you, Skip, for every good story he has, he really does have a horror story that will accurately depict the truth of what is going on with these animals that he's trying to save.
Yeah. And Skip, I just want to thank you for all you do for these animals. We always run out of time with you. We could spend we could spend 2 days on a show with you because you're involved with so much and you do so much for the animals. But we want to tell our audience that you can learn more about the Animal Defense Fund online at www.aldf.org or the Texas Humane Legislative Network at www.thln.org.
If you want to help in these causes, make your voices heard on these websites.
Up next, meet our animal rescue story of the week. We and Bandit will be right back.
Hi, I'm Sheryl Crow, and I'm a musician and a mother, and this is Buttercup. She's also a mother, but not by choice. She's a survivor of a puppy mill. Buttercup spent her life in a dirty wooden hutch, forced to produce litter after litter. She never went to a veterinarian or a groomer. She never had a soft spot to rest or a kind touch. She existed this way in cruel isolation year after year. Puppy mills are mass production factories where mother dogs suffer their entire lives, producing nearly 100% of puppies sold in pet stores and on the internet. When these dogs are no longer able to produce, they are often destroyed. Buttercup's nightmare ended the day Animal Rescue Corps saved her life. She finally knows what it means to have a loving family, but for the millions of dogs suffering in the estimated 15,000 puppy mills across the United States, this nightmare continues. Animal Rescue Corps and I ask you to visit your local shelter or rescue when choosing your next animal companion. You will not only be saving a life, you will be helping put an end to this cruel industry. Please go to animalrescuecorps.org to learn more about ending puppy mills. Buttercup and I thank you.
Welcome back. Today's For the Love of Dogs rescue story of the week is about Daisy and her family, Tara, Bonnie, and Skylar Mills. Welcome.
Thank you.
They rescued Daisy through Duck Team 6.
The Mills family is here today to tell us Daisy's story. Welcome.
Hi.
Really great to have you guys here.
Thank you.
So tell us, start from the beginning. How did you find Daisy?
Well, Daisy was a Duck Team 6 dog, and I kind of followed her on Facebook and followed their page and followed the story of how they rescued her. And she was found under a church with her puppies, and she had had her neck, they don't really know what happened, but she'd had her neck torn open. So we decided that we were going to foster Daisy, and when she came to us, they knew she was heartworm positive, so we were going to do the treatment with her, but then we found out Daisy had cancer. So, yes, you did. And then, so we did cancer treatment with her, and we all bonded with her so quickly, so we decided to make her a part of our family. So we were going to foster her, but now she's your sister, right? Yeah, she's your sister.
How many puppies did she have?
She had 7.
Wow.
Easy.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a big litter.
Yeah.
Hi, Daisy. Such a good girl.
Yes, she's a great.
So is Daisy a good sister to you? Is Daisy a good sister to you? Yeah? You love her? And she gets along with the other dogs? Yeah, great family member.
How did you find out she had cancer?
Well, she started showing tumors, and so we took her to the vet. We weren't really sure what they were. Because they could have been cysts or something else. But she started having tumors, and when we took her to the vet, they said, well, it's a form of cancer. So they decided that the best treatment. But luckily, it's a very highly treatable cancer, and they've actually seen it. It's transmissible. Oh. So they've seen it a lot in dogs in Dallas. A lot of strays in the Dallas area have had it. But fortunately, it's a very treatable cancer.
Good.
So she went through chemotherapy. She did great.
How old do they think she is?
About 2.
Do they think that was her first litter of puppies?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, she's beautiful.
Thank you.
And very, very well behaved.
Thank you.
So, with the activities with the other dogs in the family, has the addition of Daisy been a big factor in work with your daughter or with the other dogs?
Daisy has been a great addition to our family because we have older dogs, so she definitely adds a little bit of energy. She's good with the younger one. We like to do go out hiking on the trails, and we have trails right behind our house. So we're taping. Hold on. And so we'll take her out with us hiking on the trails and running. So she's been a great addition, and these two have bonded really well.
Yeah, they're sweet, very sweet.
Well, thanks so much for sharing Daisy's story with us. As usual, we've run out of time, and we'd rather sit here and spend the afternoon with you and Daisy rather than end this morning, but thanks to all our guests today.
Remember to keep up with For the Love of Dogs online at AmericanDogRescue.org, and as usual, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
For all of us here at For the Love of Dogs, thanks for watching, and Bandit says, see you next time.